Good afternoon, and welcome to Straight Talking with Kelly, where real conversations happen. This is where you'll meet some of the most intelligent, talented, and creative people who come to share tips, resources, and knowledge on various topics. Today, I have with me Chef Alice Craven. She actually started the program Heat of the Kitchen. It's a culinary program that she is looking to grow outside of the school. So, Alice, welcome.
Mm. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you very much. Mm.
And you know what? Again, I'm calling you Alice, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I'm going to stick with Chef Cravens if you don't mind, because that
It's an
name I love.
it's an
So
honor.
before we talk about her program, I'd like to read a little bit about her background. So Alice Cravens created Modern Tea in 2004, a restaurant in the Hayes Valley, San Francisco, that also supplied tea to top Bay Area restaurants. On her days off, she collaborated with the youth garden organization Community Grows and found working with youth magical. This led her to Ida B. Wells in 2009. She was able to teach a career technical education course where the skills they built last long after the dishes were done. The program is called Heat of the Kitchen. I cannot wait for us to get into a little bit more about Heat of the Kitchen and some of the things that she has done, some of the lives she has transformed, and so many other things that she's done being a community advocate as well. So, again, I am so glad to have you. And I want to walk down memory lane before we get started. Because when I came to the Bayview YMCA with my program, Primed and Prep, which is a hospitality management mentoring and jobs training program, you came over, introduced yourself, and we start partnering with one another. I mean, I thought that was so incredible. You brought students to me to come to my program. Then we would come to your program, and just the collaboration was beautiful. Do you remember any of that?
Oh, I do love that. You're a kindred spirit, Kelly, and it was really remarkable for me to be able to come in and visit you and see and just get that sense of hospitality that you have. I mean, real hospitality, and how seeing the youth listen. They listen to you.
Yeah, they did.
That's
They really
wonderful
did.
too. And
Yeah.
how amazing and great that you started that program out at the Bayview. Prime and Prep is a great example of a program that really connects youth. And I just felt lucky. So I
Yeah.
do think of that.
Oh yeah. No, it was a wonderful time. And then we just kept in touch over the years. And I mean, so no longer being colleagues, we became friends. And I think that's what's really important to me. So, anyways, glad to have you. So now let's dive into find out a little bit more about you. Tell me where you were born and raised and the schools you attended.
So born and raised in San Francisco, sixth generation. And I went to schools around the city. Uh, no public schools. My parents, it was Catholic or private schools, and I didn't like school. So when I graduated, off to college. I'm paying my own way. I'm Miss Independent, and I was going to be a ballet dancer.
Okay.
And that all started because when I was younger, I grew too fast, and they thought I had scoliosis. And I thought, oh great, I'll just go do this ballet stuff over here. And turns out it was wrong time, wrong place, and young people competing. My best friends for these minimum wage jobs, not being able to eat, and I really already liked food, so I decided to leave it as a love, and I became a chef. I went to cooking school. Um, and moved to New Orleans and cooked in pastry shops down there. It was a great experience. It was really fun to get that sense of this worked for me now, but now it's time to do something else. So,
So you were you a pastry chef or did you do all of it? Culinary arts.
uh, culinary trained to do all of it.
Okay.
French background, La
Okay.
Varenne style
Okay.
cooking. But on the weekends of the cooking school, a pastry chef would come in and we do all the pastries. And I thought, that's me.
Okay.
because think of it, ballet is very specific and almost math-like. I was good at math. Pastry is the more specific of the culinary focuses that you can have, and so
Well,
it fell in place. I can do the math. I like it,
well, you
and
know
it
what the funny
worked.
thing is, the reason why I said that is because my daughter also went to culinary school, but she did the culinary arts, but when she got out, she wanted to specialize in pastry. So she also liked the pastry aspect of it. So that's what I was wondering about with you. So now I would like to know, how did you end up at Ida B. Wells? How did you start teaching the technical career training class?
Well, I ended up as I was going through young adulthood and becoming a chef, using that. I also was a young mom trying to come back to California, and I realized that I wasn't going to be able to have both, because when you're cooking professionally, you're working nights and weekends, and I wasn't going to be able to see my kids. So I went into business, worked for many different companies, and was successful. And But I was also then I became a single mom, and I burnt myself out. Luckily, that was actually a gift because I ended up being able to take 3 months off, figure out what I want to do. And I
Okay.
realized, this is, probably late 1990s. And I had been taking clients out to restaurants, and I didn't like that foil $5 tea bag that you got at the end. I was like, this is wrong. You just paid all this money for this delicious meal, and you're getting this wrinkled foiled tea bag. And the timing was great because right around that time, China was opening their doors. Other Asian countries were opening their doors about tea to start actually selling to other people in other countries. And all these teas became available we'd never seen before. And So it was a great time to start going into the tea business. So those 3 months, I created a little tea business, and I started supplying to restaurants. And that led to wanting to have my own restaurant to kind of prove the point around tea, and how
Okay.
tea is this fantastic beverage that has these flavor profiles that could be, anything really. And That was really fun. It was a party every day. So that was modern tea. So that was in the 2000s, and then 2007, 2008. The economy, people stopped eating out, and I realized this is not a sustainable model. But some
Okay.
magic happened during that time that led to me going to Ida B. Wells. And that magic was community grows coming in with youth when we were closed. And here are these, third, fourth, fifth graders cooking in our professional kitchen and making sauteed greens with garlic and ravioli and cleaning up with a big dish prayer. And it was being able to see them, just the magic that happened when,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't really know each other when they came in. They weren't really talking with each other. But then by the time we sat down and eat, they were all like, oh, this is so cool. This is really good. I want to
Mhm.
make this at home. And That led to wanting to do more. And End of 2008, we closed the restaurant because it just, you can't stay open if people aren't coming in, and there are good
Yeah.
reasons why people couldn't come in. Um, and 2 weeks later, the principal from Ida B. Wells, which was just up the hill, said, "You should come and do that in our school. Here are the keys to your cafeteria classroom, and just do what you do." She's
How
wonderful.
wonderful is that? Oh my God, that's what you
Yeah,
call that serendipitous moment.
and
Wow.
having people put such faith in you is
Yes.
just, I've just been so lucky with that. And having the youth put faith in me, like, okay, yeah, we're going to cook this food, we've never cooked before, and it always turns out delicious.
So now talk to me about the students that you had, because you didn't have your classic students. You work with
Right.
what's
Yeah, there's some technical terms, education terms, but Ida B.
right.
Wells is
And
a
I don't like
continue.
using them.
Yeah.
As you can see, I stopped.
I don't like using them either,
Yeah,
so
because I don't
please
like
stop
labeling
me.
people. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ida B. Wells is one of the continuation high schools in San Francisco, and that's an alternative to a regular high school. So we often are. receiving students who have not been able to be successful at other high schools for whatever reason.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, and when you meet these youth, they are amazing. I mean,
yeah,
I totally, I see them and I understand, you can see through the challenges, and
yeah,
you decided not to accept things that were not right, and more power to you. And
yeah,
let's cook
yeah,
together, and let's create something, and let's really help you see your value, and
yeah.
feel it too. So
Yeah, and I mean, you do some amazing stuff with those guys. And then you still continue that restaurant atmosphere because you have your long table events that I absolutely love, that I've actually attended a couple of them. Um, and so, and then you have, it's all student led as well.
mhm.
So talk to me a little bit about what the classes entail and then how it leads to those events.
It's we don't get the students for very long. A continuation high school really is there to help young people catch up on credits, however it's best for them. But our students really like to just jump in. So we take care of the safety needs. Let's make sure we all understand this environmental safety. Let's make sure you feel safe. Let's talk about what we want to cook, and let's put that up on the wall. Let's see, we have some ideas about ingredients. We have lots of cookbooks to go through. What do we want to make? And then every week we actually turn it into a professional prep for a Friday meal. So
Fun.
so we decide at the beginning of the week what we're going to make. The students actually go through a process of really understanding the recipes, drawing it out, or writing out the steps, anything that would help them with that. And then we cook together, and then we sit down and eat together. And that,
Okay.
it sounds like, oh, we're just, when you see it, you see pictures of it, you think we're trying to make them chefs. If they want to be chefs, great. We can help them with that. But what's really happening is so many other things. I mean, you've seen that with your youth in primed and prepped, and it's just amazing to see them be able to get that sense of, I go back to their sense of their inner value. They have this discovery, they're using all their senses, they're doing tangible things, real work. It's real, and I think that's one of the big factors. They get confident about their skills, and then when they sit down to eat and they hear someone from down the table go, who made this sauce? This is awesome. When someone likes the food you make, it goes in deep. And that we can't measure that, but that
Yeah,
value is so important.
yeah.
And it's already there. All their skills are already there inside them. They're just haven't had a chance to discover them. And that's the magic. That's what I really love about what we do at Heat of the Kitchen.
So now tell me this. So when the students go away after they leave and then you get a new cohort, do you ever see some of the older students, previous students, they come back?
Oh yeah, we're still in touch with many students, and COVID made it difficult.
Yeah.
But
Oh, absolutely.
but we still. My favorite is when students came back to visit, and they were two young men, and they had on the yellow vests, and they stood in the doorway, and they were all really proud, and they say, "Hey, chef, hi, we're back. We graduated." They graduated. I remember, "Hey, what are
Oh,
you guys up
nice.
to?" They said, we're electricians now. We're building the hospital up the street. We're making
Oh,
$55 an hour
oh, isn't
because of
that
what we learned in
wonderful?
your class. Yeah. So
So now
that's
tell me
wonderful.
this. Why is cooking and eating together important? Because that's very
Uh,
important to you. So tell me about that.
well, you brought up a word earlier, transform. It's transformative. It's it's a equalizer. We all come from different backgrounds, but we all are there because we enjoy eating. We all
Yeah,
need to eat.
yeah,
Um, And I think that discovery and using all your senses, and there's surface skills, but it's that underneath stuff that happens that really is important. I
yeah,
see our city and I see all these wonderful youth programs, and we're taking care of our neighborhoods. That's important. Can we create an environment where those that don't feel comfortable in their neighborhoods could go and learn. I mean, I heard a statistic from someone I trust, and I don't know the resource, but she said that we have the highest percentage of youth that are not in school and not in work in this country than we've ever had.
Oh,
How
wow.
can we connect with them? The connections you make when you cook and eat together, the confidence you build, all of
Absolutely.
that, all of that is
Yeah.
really important and valuable. And the
Yeah.
skills transfer, you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm so proud of some of the students that I had worked with over the years where, I hear from them and they're doing wonderful things right now as well. And, they're working, they're happy, and, it's wonderful. And they've learned a lot about eating healthy. And that's the other thing that we're
Yes.
also teaching them, right?
Yes, definitely.
And
Definitely.
that's
Understanding vegetables, you know.
yes,
Hmm.
really key. So talk to me about the long table event because that's all student led, isn't it?
It
Do
is student
they
led,
do
and
all the cooking too, right?
they do. They help create the menu. And based on the number of people, we start adding in more. Well, we need a soup now, and now we need maybe another side dish. And they will start actually experimenting on that, which is a lot of fun.
Wow.
And we haven't been able to do one for, I think it's like 4 years, but we
Okay.
have one planned, and it's going to be a smaller, longer, long table dinner. We're not sure what to call it yet. It's still going to be a long table, but it's going to be on March 23rd, and we chose to keep it within the high school. We love the sense of ownership and the ability to transform the school into a restaurant, and
Okay.
so we're going to do it then, and I'll make sure to reach out to you if you're interested in coming.
Oh,
Please.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my
Mhm.
girlfriend Jackie, she loved being at that one.
Oh
She
yes.
came,
Oh, that was
do you
so
remember
fun.
her? She came with me with that. So
Yes.
now I understand you're no longer leading the class effort because you're preparing for growth opportunities. You want to grow the program outside of the school. What do you mean by that, and what would that look like?
That's such a good question, and I think that's a question I want to throw out back to our citizens of San Francisco. I'm I'm older. I'm I'm white. I have worked with these youth, but a lot of white people have not. And to understand the amazing power that they have and be able to support them, because we know the roller coaster rides that happen after high school when we have support.
Yeah.
What about and we're able to get through those, but what about young people that have not been able to have support? How can we continue to support and allow them to have a place to go where they can transition into another job?
Yeah.
That's something, and also that layer of that welcoming doorway of culinary and hospitality, that magic that helps us remember we're all very similar people when you come right down to it, and we may
Mhm.
have all had different experiences. We may not have gotten the same privileges, but let's create a place where we can help each other. And I think that's true of most of the youth programs I've seen, that they have an element of that. But the welcoming doorway of culinary hospitality, we want to change that stigma about that, because the magic is there. And I'm seeing our youth who, right now, there are many youth that could graduate from Ida B. Wells High School next week. I mean, it's a rolling graduation cycle.
Right,
Um,
right.
but they say, no, I'm not ready. And yeah, maybe there's some more math I could take, but don't take me out of the culinary class. I want to stay in the culinary class. If you want to see me in school until May, leave me in the culinary
Oh,
class.
so they're staying in school so they can be in the program. And that's why
Right,
you want to bring it outside of the school so then they'll have a place to come. Is that
right.
correct? Yeah.
Yes, and
So it would be
and
like an after school program or something. Is that
it could look like an after school program. I mean, one of the ideas, and this wants to be fleshed out, I think, before we actually really try to paint a picture of it. The next step I really see is we want to create a youth advisory that really speaks to the youth that are not in school and not in work and want support. What what would that look like? Could we have a central place near City Hall in the performance spaces where we could have the magic of the long table dinner happen? That is the original idea, but would that really serve our youth? What other supports would they want? Would they want to get their GED? Would they want to have industry meetups with different industries? We have a lot of power in San Francisco and a lot of different amazing industries and amazing people. How can we really make those connections? And I think we make those connections at the table.
Yeah. Oh,
Through.
absolutely. And of course, as you are talking, my
Mhm.
head is spinning because I'm thinking of all of the different corporations like what's that big one downtown?
Oh, the big building,
Salesforce. Well, no,
Salesforce.
I'm thinking about places like Salesforce. I'm thinking about the hotels that could actually host these different things. And it would be nice to make it kind of like a revolving
Hmm.
type thing. Maybe once a month, go to different places, and it'll also give the students access to different companies and whatnot. So the possibilities are definitely there. You just definitely need to have the right minded people to to sit down at the table along with the students with you. So let's talk
Absolutely.
about that. So I know that you're looking for board members and funders.
Mhm.
Let's figure out how that can happen. What are some of the things that you're doing to reach out to people?
Well, we have a very small and mighty board right now. During COVID, we went from just being fiscally sponsored to now being our own nonprofit, which gives us a lot more flexibility. And we're staying small. So we're actually doing both right now. And what we're looking for are board members that can really work on a vision that would help our opportunity youth. That's the description given for those youth who are not in school or not in work and want to transition and want to move into that. I think anyone that wants to work on that project, whatever, however that looks,
Mm-hmm.
is something that I see benefiting us. And it's all, I mean, the other thing is, there are people out there that love to do social media. That's not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love seeing my friends on social media, but I also feel like I'm in a silo.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
again, so marketing, social media, fundraising, legal, accounting,
Yeah.
uh, connectors. It's all there. I think the people in San Francisco are here, and I feel like we're coming enough out of the experience
Excuse
we've
me.
had for the bless you, the experience we've had over the last 3 years to say, okay, let's really work on something. Let's get our teeth in. Should people might have suggestions. Like I right now would love suggestions about who should I talk to at City Hall about this idea. Um, who's currently doing this work. And in a way that is supporting our youth, that our youth feel good in. I think I've had those all those questions and connecting us to help us create this next generation of support that we need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like with all things that end up being good, it takes time and, just keep doing what you need to do to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because I remember how long it took me to get permanent prep going, 8 years. Yeah. And I mean, when I say 8 years, it was a long time, but I still held faith to that focus and knew that I could make it happen. And so you've already got a lot of the groundwork done already.
Mm-hmm.
It's just now pulling in the right contacts and the right people to
Mm-hmm.
take it to the next step.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what the hope is. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Kelly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. So now I'd like to kind of switch a little bit and ask you to tell me, name 3 people that have inspired you.
Oh, 3 people who have inspired me. Can one be you?
Absolutely. I'll take it.
You inspire me, Kelly,
I do.
because you see people and you move forward with appreciation, and you move forward with the I want to help feel. And a lot of people think about it, but they don't just channel it. You channel it.
Oh, thank
Say
you.
that. Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
I have other inspiring people. Hmm, I'd have to think. I'd say my husband is inspiring. It's people that really are kind to other people, you know?
Okay.
Um, and I have to say that I really like there's a community center near us, the Booker T. Washington Community Center. And the director there, Shakira Simley, she's inspired me.
Phenomenal. I
Mhm.
love her. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what I was able to, I have to go back and see her again. But when I went over there a few months ago and just feeling the life of it, just really, and the real support that it provides for all ages, and
You
fun.
know, that's interesting you brought her up because she and I just recently connected and, had scheduled some time for me to come over. And then something happened where I didn't go, but I definitely do have a trip to get over there to see what she's doing. So it's nice to hear that you felt the warmth.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. And do I get to pick one more? I'd have to say our youth. There's one young lady who still we keep in touch every year, and I haven't seen her in probably about 5 or 6 years, but
Oh, wow.
she was in my class when I was teaching back in 2010, and we've still kept in touch. And she's navigated a lot of challenges, but we still believe in each other and keep in touch. And she's
Oh, that's
inspiring to me.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So that's three, right?
Yep, three plus
Well, that's
Kelly.
okay. It's always there's always so many more. And of course, after it's over, you're
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, I could have said this person and I could have said that person. So that's why I
exactly.
always say
Mhm.
three, because I know that it's really more than three. So before we get ready to end the program, is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience to get them to be of support with helping you grow your program, whether it's being a sounding board, part of the advisory board, a funder, volunteers, just whatever you need? What do you want to say to the people, and how can they be in touch with you?
Yeah. Well, please connect. If any of this has sparked ideas, I would love to hear from people, and they can connect through the Heat of the Kitchen Instagram, or they can contact me directly, Alice Cravens at LinkedIn. Um, I'm also on Facebook, although less than I should be. Um, but I think I'd want to say, let's connect. Let's help our youth. And if there's any youth out there that are hearing this that want to say, hey, I have some ideas about what this city needs, or I had a really great experience with this organization. I mean, this is also an idea that shouldn't just be one organization. This should be a collaboration. And
Absolutely.
other cities have some things. It's not the answer in every city, but I feel like it's worth trying here. It's worth trying getting more of a youth presence and more of a welcoming doorway of culinary hospitality as a means to connect us. That I think we need that.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Well, Chef Cravens, I'd like to thank you for being a guest on Straight Talking with Kelly, where real conversations happen. Cannot wait to see how this actually starts moving forward for you. And to my audience, thank you for listening. Please come back, subscribe, like, share, and comment. So again, Chef Cravens, we'll get together soon, okay?
I would love that. Let's go have some tea
Yes.
or anything. Thank you so much, Kelly. I really
Uh-huh.
appreciate this opportunity, and I really appreciate you and everything you
Thank
do.
you so much.